Welcome everyone. I will demonstrate in this video one of the features that have been released during the last release of the Adobe Analytics API 2.0. So especially about the schedule job methods. So in Adobe Analytics, there is the capability to schedule a workspace report uh, into a scheduled time, so either weekly or monthly or so forth. And that is now available for the Adobe Analytics API 2.0 Python module, which is called Adobe Analytics 2, that you can directly install through pip. There is a get started method, and of course, yeah, it's a pip install for Adobe Analytics 2 for the 2.0 API. I want to give you the information that these endpoints have been found, but they are not documented. So everything that I'm really going to explain, I'm going to explain first a bit more detail because there is no documentation, and this is what I understood from the elements. Um, and yeah, there are also some caveats because uh, they are not documented, so it's unsure if everything works as it's supposed to be. Then maybe that's why they are not documented and not published, publicly released. It's maybe because they are a bit unstable and not returning all the results, and you will be able to see that very soon. So I'm going back to the setup where I was explaining you the workspace capability and the breakdown capability that have been released during the release, 3.1, 0.3.1, sorry. For getting the schedule project, you can actually go back to your instance and get the schedule jobs, and that would return the schedule jobs that are fetchable from this endpoint. I just created one to show you how it works, and as you can see, it returns nothing from that method. So it means that technically I have no scheduled jobs being returned at the moment from the API endpoint. So it may take time to actually reach this endpoint to be. I just did that a few minutes ago, and it's time to actually show up in this endpoint, or maybe it's not consistent as I was saying because those methods are not documented. It's maybe not returning exactly what you want. But I created one, and I'm able to access it when I'm looking at his specific ID, and you can actually go that. Sorry, you can actually get the get schedule job method with that ID, and you can see that. So it's the same but without the S because you actually retrieve only one. And you can see that I'm actually using this report suite ID, my name of the report suite. You see that it's a daily report and so forth, and it's a CSV that I want to receive, and so on. And there is also this capability that here is delivery settings. This, my understanding is that the settings of who you want to send that to is kept in the separate elements of the, so it's a configuration that's kept separate from the schedule operation. So you can have one setting that is used multiple times because you can send this on the same basis to the same group of people for different projects. So that is a capability that is possible. I like this fact that it's very modular and you can use the same setting for several jobs. Project, and it doesn't matter really for you. I actually added this into the capability, so you can get the settings if you want. You just do the AGS get settings probably. No, let's get something delivery setting, and I can actually get this to see what is inside. But technically, you don't really need that. So I created. So you see that this is email. There is only one logging ID that will receive. It's my logging ID. So you can see that I can send to logging ID, to a group ID if you created a group, or to all admin, or you can specify email addresses that are not part of the Adobe Analytics um, Adobe Analytics login interface or user interface. That's very interesting. So you can generate exportable reports for people that are outside your Adobe Analytics setup, and that is very very cool. And you can see the type of element that is being returned. So this is very interesting. But when you create a scheduled job, let's have a look at this with the help function. What I am doing in the background is to create those delivery settings first and then attach them. You can select a project ID, which is the workspace project ID, that you can retrieve through the get project method. So if I'm doing that, it's a data frame, and I'm now displaying the data frame. I have those ID. You can see that I have this overview that I can send, and I can use that ID. Oops, sorry, I'm getting to the method. The type. So the default is PDF, but as you can see, or as you have seen, uh, in that case, I can send also CSV. So it's definitely the option that you can see in the UI as well. And then the schedule, which is an object, so a dictionary that can have several type of elements. So you can see here it's a weekly one, this is a daily one, and depending on it, you can actually see that there are options available that are not available on the other one. So in the weekly, you say which day of the week you want to have it. Here it's number 2, so number 0 is Monday, or Tuesday, and then it's Wednesday. Uh, so you have the monthly, day of the month, when do you want to set it, number of intervals you want to set it. Then, as I was explaining, you can retrieve the logging ID from the get user method and send a list of that. Or more importantly, I think the emails, a list of emails that you want to send it as a string is what you would like to do. And automatically, this will create the settings and yeah, generate the elements. Um, Automatically, it's been done for a month, and yeah, it's I think this is a very good way. I mean, we can create that if we want. Do I still have this? I have this. Then I need the type, which will be PDF again for me. And then I want to say it's, let me put up schedule up. Let's do this. Up and use that schedule equals schedule, which is this one. And the email will be test@test.com. And this is how you create that. Then when you use that, it creates everything, and now you are returned with these elements. You can see the start time is in 2022, and the expression time is 1 year later. So automatically it creates from 1 year later, and that's yeah, that can be revised because there is an update. I just update a scheduled job that you can use to completely update this element if you want to run it for a longer time. But usually one year is enough because you start your year with new objectives, new KPI that you want to run that for a longer time. So that was the video. It's much shorter than the other one, but I think it's very interesting for you, for your organization, if you want to schedule a lot of workspace projects and you want to manage how much of them are being used. As you have seen, those are, because it's not documented, it's not stable. Sometimes it doesn't exactly work as we want, as I just created those and they are not returned in my call. So actually, let's see if the last one is that we just created together is being returned. Up. So yeah, you can see that I can see the last one that I created, uh, 8612, but the one I created manually is not being displayed. 8612 is the one I created. So be careful when you get them because you may not have all them, but I think it's still very useful. If you try it on your organization, I try it on several organizations. I can see a lot of them. I'm pretty sure it's covering a lot of the schedule report that you can see, but yeah, as I said, not documented. Take with at least a knowledge of that. On that, have a good day and good coding.